it was a complete mess in every which way, and it did put us on an event they should be very proud of overall, because they've got to be better than that, man. They're not they've been a company for 4 years now, and the lack of communication, the lack of alert, right? Like, how's no one on a headset even saying Moxley's not with it?
Yeah.
It's just crazy. There's so many steps that should have been taken before we got to him taking 2 power drivers. So
Yeah,
many.
yeah.
That's where we ended up, unfortunately.
What happened in the AEW International Championship match? It seems that Jon Moxley had at least some level of concussion in the match. And there was an audible called eventually, and Rey Fenix is now the AEW International Champion. Firstly, in regards to the concussion, the spot that the power driver spots towards the end, how did you see it? What did you think when you saw the referee not counting the 3 the first time? What's your thoughts on that?
Man, it's, with what we do, you never want to be the guy who's piling on, right? Rick Knox has been a target, and fairly so.
Yeah.
But it has to be said, it's just not good enough, Like, I don't know what I'm looking at when it comes to professional wrestling. I've never been in the ring in my life, and multiple people, I was talking to them during the match saying Mox is hurt. Mox didn't look right at all with the match. He got hurt on the first dive, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they said, yeah.
And I rewatched the match today, and Rick Knox didn't communicate with him once during that match. And it's like, if I can see as a completely uneducated eye that Mox is not right, he's got to be more present than that. And I'm sure he feels terrible, and that's why I feel bad even, doubling down on this. We have to be honest. I mean, like, this is a little bit of a trend with Rick Knox in terms of him not being present enough inside those ropes. And in fear of being dramatic, that the consequences of that could be dire, because it's a very dangerous thing. And so my reaction to it, to be honest, was like frustration, because I couldn't believe what was happening. Rey Fenix, his decision making could have been better. I mean, picking him up and hitting another pile driver was not the play. But I guess the way I see it is he's in the heat of the battle, whereas Rick Knox's purpose should be to actively be protecting the guys in terms of safety. So it was a complete mess in every which way, and it did put us on an event they should be very proud of overall, because they've got to be better than that, man. They're not they've been a company for 4 years now, and the lack of communication, the lack of alert, right? Like, how's no one on a headset even saying Mox is not with it?
Yeah,
it's just crazy. There's so many steps that should have been taken before we got to him taking 2 power drivers. So many. That's where we ended up, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think people have been piling on unfairly just in general on AEW, saying that this is always the case. I mean, it's happened on multiple occasions in the past 4 years. One too many, of course, but it's not like it's happening every week, so we don't need to be over dramatic about it. But I'm just thinking, Rick Knox in that situation, you're totally right in saying he has to be more present. I can only imagine it's hard though to, this is not even just any old wrestler. This is Moxley that you're basically going to say nope. You're going to say no to Moxley and then call off his match. It must be a difficult position to be in, and Moxley has a level of care to himself and to Rey Fenix as well, that he has to say, like, no, I don't feel good, because especially with Rey Fenix's Arsenal, if he does some crazy flip, he has to catch him. Like, you see what I mean? Like, I just feel like everyone here is culpable. The referee is in charge of the match ultimately, so it will fall with him, but everyone here is culpable for what happened.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, like, it's difficult, right? Because with referees, they're very seldom going to be the hero, but they're often going to be the villain, right? Same with real sports. It's like very rarely are you going to watch a great match and come out of it and say, man, Rick Knox killed it tonight. It's just not how it works. So again, I'm always hesitant with these things because it's a really hard job, and I'm sure he feels terrible. But I think when you compare his general handling of these things to, honestly, other AEW referees, it's noticeable. Like, he sometimes just seems like the action's going on around him. Now, if the wrestlers are comfortable with him, the wrestlers are comfortable with him. But there needs to be many, many steps within your process internally that stops it from getting that far. And again, it could be someone on the headset. Everyone should be watching closely, because you mentioned Rey Fenix has a very dynamic arsenal. Every single dive, it can go wrong. I mean, lest we forget a couple of years ago when he took a simple table spot. But a simple table spot is very dangerous, and his arm got, when he hurt his arm, it's like, any given spot that can happen. So everyone needs to be more alert. And thankfully, it seems like Mox is okay, right? It seems, relatively speaking, of course he was concussed, but it seems like he's okay. So you can only hope everyone learns from it. I think whenever we talk about these topics, none of us are like trying to be, fire him, get rid of him. It's just like we're talking about it because we don't want to see things go worse. This is a very dangerous thing, So hopefully they learn from this and their process gets a little tighter moving forward.
Yeah, that would be good to see. Like I said, it's not often it happens, but probably one too many times in the last 4 years. But it's landed us in somewhere that I don't think anyone expected following Grand Slam. Rey Fenix is now the AEW International Champion. I don't mind it because, a Rey Fenix singles run in AEW is something that I'm sure in one way, shape or form, we probably all wanted at some point. I'm scared that Tony Khan is going to revert to what he knows as he does. Like, this wasn't in my plan. As soon as Mox is ready, give the belt back to Mox. When I think we have a real opportunity here to do something with Rey Fenix. What's your thoughts on it?
I agree both with your take that there's an opportunity and also your fear that Tony's going to revert immediately back when Moxley's available. Like, I'd imagine Tony had some plan for Moxley and he'll probably just go back to that. I'm with you. And the other thing too is I love Jon Moxley, but I had no interest in him as work rate mid-card champ. It's not what I want to see him doing, man. I want to see Mox doing main event feuds where he's cutting promos back and forth for guys. I don't want to see him going 12 minutes for Action Andre. Now Rey Fenix on the other hand, hey, now we can do some cool stuff with those matches, right? He's perfect for that belt. So we agree on two fronts with that. We both think it's an opportunity and also think it's not going to be used or capitalized on. So you get what you get.
I don't think that Rey Fenix needs an extended long run, maybe 2 months or so. But he can wrestle across Dynamite, Collision, all of these shows, and just have lots of nice spots. They've obviously kind of started building their own little luchador division anyway. Give us those matches and let Mox, if Mox is going to come back into it, let's do it somewhat organically. Obviously there's a protocol for the concussion stuff. It's going to take him probably a couple of weeks to get back to TV anyway. Let's just not do it at the first opportunity.